The silence in the Grand Hall of the International Convention Centre in Sydney was absolute, broken only by the soft rustle of programs and the nervous coughs from the assembled publishers, authors and agents. On the dais, the presenter, her smile perfectly rehearsed, held the envelope aloft. This wasn't just another award, it was the Australian Book Industry Awards Book of the Year, the pinnacle, the honour every writer in the country dreamt of. Zeno Sworder, a quiet, unassuming man from Melbourne's inner north, sat clutching his partner's hand, the air thick with anticipation. He'd already had a stunning run with his children's books, but this was the big one. His latest, Once I Was a Giant, a poetic tale of a tree becoming a pencil, then writing its own story, had struck a chord, but would it be enough? The name was read and the roar that erupted was deafening, a wave of genuine delight and admiration for a story that, in its gentle wisdom, had managed to capture the heart of a nation. Zeno Sworder's journey to that Sydney stage began in many ways in the leafy historic streets of Fitzroy, Melbourne, where he lived with his family. Before the accolades, before the international recognition, he was a dedicated artist and father, navigating the creative life that so many Australians aspire to but few truly master. His days were a delicate dance between the quiet solitude of his studio, meticulously bringing his characters to life with intricate illustrations, and the bustling, joyous chaos of family life. He wasn't a newcomer to the publishing scene. His previous works, This Small Blue Dot * in 2021 and My Strange Shrinking Parents * in 2023, had already garnered significant critical acclaim. This Small Blue Dot had seen him crowned Best New Illustrator at the Children's Book Council of Australia Awards, and My Strange Shrinking Parents had even snagged the prestigious Victorian Premier's Literary Prize. These weren't just children's books, they were profound explorations of identity, belonging, and the wonders of the everyday, crafted with a sensitivity and an artistic flair that set him apart. Zeno's approach to storytelling was deeply human, imbued with a gentle hopefulness that resonated with both children and adults. He was a creator who understood the power of metaphor, of simple language to convey complex truths. An artist who poured his soul onto every page, often working late into the cool Melbourne nights, perfecting a color palette or refining a narrative twist. His stories, though fantastical, were always grounded in a recognizable emotional landscape, touching on universal themes of change, growth, and the quiet dignity of existence. The incident that brought Zeno to the ABIA stage, that moment of triumph, wasn't a singular dramatic event in the way of a courtroom battle or a regulatory crackdown. Instead, it was the culmination of years of dedicated creative labor, a testament to the slow, painstaking process of bringing art into the world. After the success of his earlier books, the pressure was subtly on for his next project. Once I Was a Giant began as a seed of an idea, a reflection on the life cycle of materials, the transformation of nature into human tools, and the stories those tools might tell. Zeno spent months, then years, conceptualizing, drafting, sketching, and refining. He worked closely with his publisher, a smaller independent house that believed fiercely in his vision, understanding the unique, almost philosophical quality of his children's literature. The book's premise, a tree cut down, turned into a pencil, and then used to write its own story, was deceptively simple, yet it held layers of meaning about self-discovery and the cyclical nature of life. The illustrations, which were as vital to the narrative as the words themselves, required an immense amount of time and meticulous attention to detail. Each page was a work of art, a vibrant, expressive landscape that invited young readers to linger, to explore, to dream. The book was published in late 2025 and from its release it began to gather momentum. Bookshop owners in Adelaide spoke of its immediate appeal, parents in Perth praised its gentle message, and librarians in Brisbane marvelled at its lyrical prose. It wasn't a book that relied on gimmicks or marketing blitzes, it was a book that found its audience through genuine word of mouth, through the quiet power of its narrative. The nominations for the ABIAs began to roll in, first for Children's Picture Book of the Year, then to Zeno's quiet astonishment for the overall Book of the Year award. This was an honor usually reserved for blockbuster adult fiction or non-fiction, making his picture book an outlier, a testament to its profound impact. The industry, it seemed, was beginning to realize the sheer depth and artistic integrity of Zeno's work. The battle for the Australian Book Industry Awards is less a fierce legal contest and more a rigorous multi-stage process of peer review and critical assessment. A quiet but intense competition among the best literary talents and publishing houses in Australia. Unlike a dispute over an unfair dismissal at the Fair Work Commission or a consumer complaint handled by Consumer Affairs Victoria, the ABIA process centres on subjective merit, judged by industry professionals. The journey for Once I Was a Giant started with its publisher, who, with a deep understanding of the book's quality and its potential, submitted it for consideration across several categories. These awards, now in their 26th year, are organised by the Australian Publishers Association, representing the collective voice of the nation's publishing industry. The first hurdle was the longlist, then the shortlist for the Children's Picture Book of the Year. This involved a panel of judges, experienced booksellers, critics and librarians, poring over hundreds of submissions, evaluating them on criteria like originality, storytelling, impact and production quality. Zeno's book excelled here, praised for its unique concept and stunning visual narrative, but the real challenge came with the overall Book of the Year category. Here Once I Was a Giant was up against titles from vastly different genres, all vying for the ultimate prize. The arguments for the book, presented implicitly through its pages and explicitly through the buzz it generated, focused on its universality, its gentle wisdom that transcended age, and its exceptional artistic execution. Publishers, sales teams and authors themselves engaged in a subtle but powerful campaign of advocacy, highlighting the book's resonance, its capacity to inspire and move readers. The evidence wasn't legal documents or witness testimonies, but the book itself, its words, its colors, its emotional core. At stake was not just an award but recognition, a validation of years of creative endeavor, and a spotlight on the profound importance of children's literature in the broader cultural landscape. It was a demonstration of how a powerful story, beautifully told, could cut through the noise and capture the collective imagination. The resolution for Zeno Sworder arrived on that May evening in Sydney, swift and resounding. When the name Once I Was a Giant was called, it wasn't just a win for him, it was a win for a particular kind of quiet, thoughtful storytelling that often gets overshadowed in the commercial noise. The Book of the Year award isn't accompanied by a massive cash prize in the way a court settlement might be, but its value is immense in terms of prestige, increased sales, and industry recognition. It's the ultimate seal of approval from peers, a powerful endorsement that can transform a successful career into a truly significant one. The award itself is a beautifully crafted trophy, a tangible symbol of achievement. More importantly, the win meant that Once I Was a Giant would reach an even wider audience, both nationally and internationally. Libraries would stock it, schools would recommend it, and parents drawn by the Book of the Year sticker would pick it up. introducing its hopeful message to countless more children across Australia and beyond. It was a clear, unambiguous victory not just for Zeno but for the power of art to communicate profound ideas. Simply was justice served. In the realm of creative awards, justice is often about recognizing excellence and impact, and in that sense, absolutely. The outcome wasn't a compromise, it was a celebration of a truly exceptional work that had touched so many. It confirmed what many already knew, that Zeno Sworder was a significant voice in Australian literature, someone capable of crafting stories that resonate deeply and endure. What does this mean for everyday Australians, especially those with creative aspirations or those who simply value the power of a good story? Zeno Sworder's journey, culminating in the highest honour in Australian publishing, is a powerful reminder that authentic, heartfelt work can and does break through. For emerging Australian